Hello, peoples. Welcome in. Hope you guys are having a lovely day, depending on which time you're tuning in from. This is a quick video. It's ironic that this is kind of like the first video on the channel, but hello. I have to make this because I want to make a recap video, and I can't make a recap video. There's no original video. Okay, so I'll be showing most of the actual information here later on today in stream, and I'll be pulling things up so that you guys can kind of see. But long story short, okay. The background is Mythic Immortal 150 stars is my peak in Mobile Legends. And I've been playing League for a bit because obviously my account is level 22, as you can see right here. And we're gonna be playing basically I've locked in on 4 heroes or champions or whatever. And it's gonna be Nyla, which is the one you see right here. Uh she is not a very good hero right now, according to everybody else on the planet, apparently. She's like B tier and she's a bot lane, and apparently bot lane is not meant for ADCs right now because, or not good for ADCs because right now it's all about mage bot, and it's very difficult to lane against them as an ADC. Blah 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 blah. It's just a bad meta for ADCs in general, like the physical ADCs. And then this one's even worse. Like the cherry on top is that this one's a little bit worse because it's like melee range functionally. Like literally, her role has changed to fighter or something like that. So I guess if you think about it like an ML, you know how there's like some items that like are like halved for ranged people? She doesn't have that restriction, basically, because her that's how short her range is, okay? But I really like her kit. It's really amazing. I'll explain more on stream later why I've chosen this one. Second in place, if I have to go mid lane, will be Locke, who is a marksman. Wait, what? No, he's not. Who is an assassin? He's a mage assassin, kind of like a mixture between Gudgeon and like I don't know, Amon. It's a little confusing. He's not like basically you land 3 nails on someone, and then you go in at the same timing you would with Gudgeon, and then they get bursted. Basically, that's just the premise of it, right? So that's like my second place. If I have to go mid, I'll be using Locke. Other than that, I'll be playing Jinx because everybody says, "Oh, she's easy," but then at the same time, I look at like the meta list and she's like S tier meta, and I played her a bit. She's kind of easy. Think of it like Layla, closer to Layla, but not really. She's a little bit less range than Layla, but she can kite a lot better. And she has like CC in her kit built in, and kind of like a global ult instead of like a Moskov spear is a better way to say it, but like it doesn't let you teleport or anything. So that's the background, and that's the TLDR. This is what we're gonna do. And since it's only 4 days, right? We don't wanna we don't wanna like go crazy and promise things that aren't realistic. So because League takes so many freaking games to that I don't even know how many games it's gonna take to get to level 30. You have to get to level 30 before you can even play ranked. And that's the problem. So I'll try to like spend a lot of like time to get out of it. Then once we're out of this uh unranked phase, then we're gonna go straight into ranked, and then hopefully the target is gold, right? So if by like let's say day 4 I'm not gold yet, but I'm close, then that'll be the goal. But if I on the contrary, if I hit it way too soon, like it's like only day 2 and I've already hit gold, then I'll try to see how far I can go. But for now, the goal is just getting gold, and that's it. Now the equivalent of like ranks wise, in League you go from, I believe it's like iron, bronze, gold, silver. No, iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, emerald. I could be wrong. Then diamond, then master. I could be wrong on those ranks, but like the equivalent of like Mythic Immortal, which is like the like 100, like there's like Mythic Immortal, and then there's like after that it gets crazy, like you can have like multiple stars or whatever. The best equivalent I could think is like Challenger, but because it's such a different game, fundamentally, I mean it's still a MOBA, but like because it's such a different game, the problem is gonna be like where that falls in. And from what I've been seeing, how people describe it, like other people that are streaming, like they play the game for many years and they stream it and they know it and they give tips and advice and blah 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 blah. a lot of the advice comes down to like a lot of like the same essentials, but there's a like a twist to it because there's warding and stuff unique to League. But basically you have them just play like if everybody has like Selena traps available as like part of their kit, and so there's a way to discover them and how way to put them and where to place them. But it's just like a Selena mentality. It's not really that difficult to grasp once you understand a little bit of it. So with all that being said, I would think that aside from the most difficult thing for anybody like moving on to this game, if you've never played League before, it's gonna be like understanding what enemy champions do. And unfortunately, that just comes with a lot of experience because there's so many heroes, so many champions. It's kind of like in ML though, it's the same thing. When you face certain heroes, you don't know what they do when you first start the game, and until you do, and you know their max range, their cooldown roughly, you don't have to know exactly, then you know, oh, their cooldown is down. This specific cooldown is down. That's the only one I'm scared of. Now I can go all in, or I can go from this angle to avoid their other one, the one other skill that they're good at, or something like that. So that's gonna come with experience, and unfortunately, I don't have much of that. Obviously, I just started this game, so. But I think like just in ML, similarly, if you follow the core concepts of like macro and you follow the core concepts of trying not to feed and just playing, like, passively, but, not so passively that it's, like, actually, like, almost inting, then if you follow those concepts in ML, you can get to Mythic with that level of, discipline is what I would call it. So, by the same logic, I think that the equivalent rank in League to get that far would probably be Master, and then after that, like the peak master, not that you're going to be playing like against other masters and like expecting it to be normal and like you're part of that rank. No, but I'm like peak master seems to be the equivalent uh like achievable range for somebody that's uh coming from like Mythic Immortal or like whatever other highest rank in any other MOBA. After that, it becomes so league specific that to get beyond that, you would have to invest probably 10 times the amount of effort and time to get beyond that. And even in that same bracket, to just get a higher rank in within that bracket, right? Because there's a difference between somebody who peaked at a rank and somebody who went deep into that rank, right? And it also depends on like the motivation, right? Like what is the point of like, for example, in ML, people stop playing once you reach a certain peak because it's a waste of time, right? Because there's no more rewards. The only reason some people would even go further, like once you hit Mythic Immortal 100 stars, why would you go to 150 stars, right? That's because you're trying to like get into some tournament or something, right? And so that's the whole point. So anyways, hopefully that's enough background and it's brief enough. I've already played HOK, and by the way, I'm still gonna play that game in the future. Just let me get through my league phase. I really like the game. And we got Grandmaster, and same thing in HOK. There's a rank above that where it's like, okay, you're basically legend now. You're basically legend now. And I think the equivalent in League of Legend is probably Emerald, right? So I don't think I can get there just simply due to how differently the rank up mechanics work and how many games you need to like spam in order to get to a certain rank. That's why I'm setting the bar to gold, not because that's where I think my skill level is at, but because I think that's where the equivalent to getting on other MOBAs is, it would be Emerald, right? So if I can get Emerald, that would be great. I don't think so. I think it's just too many games. It's unrealistic in that small time frame. But I'll be playing passively in the background, and if I do like play in the future, it won't be like these very long days. I'm about to have like a marathon essentially. Okay. So anyways, like I said, I'll explain more like of what I've learned so far, like things that I pay attention to because I come from other MOBAs, things like runes and how I understand them and items and itemization and like how they work and things like that. I'll explain them in a lot more detail in the logic of how I'm building. I could be completely wrong on these things, by the way. I'm still a new player, but I'll explain a lot more of like what I know about the game just by passively learning it and watching it. And the only other streamer I've watched is TJ right here. You should watch him, by the way. He's really good. He's a Vel'Koz main and he's a master player. But he's really good, and I've sent him a couple of VOD reviews, and dude's great. He tells you like what's going on, what you're messing with, what you're failing with. My current issues are that I'm fat fingering some of my like battle spells. Like imagine like burning flicker because you missed a button because you're playing WASD and Q is right beside W and you accidentally hit Q instead of W. That's me. Or hitting E instead of W and you're burning your other battle spell. That's me. There's two battle spells in League, by the way. You can have like it's kind of like in Brawl where you can have like flicker and AGs. Same concept. So it's crazy, it's crazy. But I've sent some things for like VOD review to him just because, you know, it's fun to see how like a master player looks at it. It's like, ah, yeah, you're making these mistakes. And he's like, but like the advice he gives is like the type of advice that like you would expect someone to be giving to somebody like that you would give as like a Mythic Immortal player to somebody that's like like hard stuck in Legend trying to make it to like Mythic, right? It's like, okay, look, you're good at your hero, sure, you can look at the map, you kind of do objectives here and there, but like your issue is like you're not thinking about where the enemy jungler is. You're not looking at like you're not thinking of like the bigger picture. Like think about like how 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 easy do I win this trade? Is my wave pushed in? Do I want to freeze the lane or not? Etc. Etc. Like higher level concepts that if you can employ, deploy, enact? I don't know, but basically, it's the same type of advice. You get those like in game. Like if you're a jungler, it's like okay, look, you're gonna start here because your intent is to go gank this place. You're gonna start over here because your intent is to gank that place. You have to like determine who's your easiest target beforehand. And if you're playing in a lane where the enemy jungler, you know you're the easiest target, you have to play a lot more passively when you're lane and everything, but try to play a lot more under tower until you can get some items and then become a problem, right? That type of like logic, that type of thing. But like the only thing that's different is that I've seen that like people pan a lot, like the map. Like we do that in ML as well. You pan the map a lot and a lot and a lot. And in a league, you can do the same thing. The point is to not get like tunnel vision. If you can look at the mini map, you know, in like ML, you're just very used to looking at the mini map without like actually panning over. You only pan over the mini map when you're not in like in the middle of a fight, right? You don't go mid fight panning somewhere, right? That's not a thing. It's not a habit. Because you could get like easily just like, one second you're dead because you were looking somewhere else on the map, right? So that's not a habit I want to bring into League. I don't want to do that. And so even though a lot of League players do that, I just can't. I can't because number one, I come from like being a Wan Wan main, so that's gonna be a big problem because you can't be panning the map while you're attacking and moving. It's just not compatible, right? And so that's basically the reason I chose Nyla. That's the TLDR. Again, I already said that, but okay, yeah. Then I'll go more in depth on the stream, and yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop yapping. You guys have a good day or night, depending on your time zone you're watching from. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.